You've been told that if you want to lose weight, you need to eat less and exercise more. But that's the wrong way to go about losing weight. Exercising more doesn't actually help you lose weight. My degree is in exercise science, and I want to share with you some things I've learned about exercise. Today we're going to talk about why exercising more doesn't help you lose weight, what benefits exercising actually has for you, and how incorporating exercise into your routine will make you a better mama. In our childbearing years, when we are spending 9 months gaining a considerable amount of weight and then being able to deliver and give birth to our sweet little baby, you instantly lose about 15 pounds or so in that process. And after having that much extra weight on you, that initial drop of weight feels so good on your body. And many moms do this back to back to back, having babies pretty close together. But in postpartum and throughout the rest of motherhood, we may struggle to lose the weight that we gained through having babies, or we may even find that we are gaining weight. And it's completely natural to want your body to return to how it was before. After all, that's the body that you were most comfortable and most familiar with. So maybe you have multiple kids and you haven't really been able to lose any of the baby weight. And as the babies kept growing, life became more hectic. Or maybe throughout motherhood, you have been going on your daily walk or exercising on a really consistent basis, but you still aren't losing weight like you were expecting to. Well, that's because exercise doesn't actually burn that much energy. Our body has 4 ways of burning energy. The first is what most people would consider your resting metabolic rate or your basal metabolic rate. This is the amount that your body burns when you're not doing anything. And I'm going to pop a graphic up on the screen and you'll see that this is a considerable amount of energy that your body burns every day just to keep you alive. So that's your biggest section of what actually burns energy in your body. The next section is called your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and this is the activity that you do on a day-to-day where you're not intentionally exercising. So this could be walking from your car into a store or from your bedroom to the kitchen. This is all the movements that you do just as a natural part of everyday life, and this is the next biggest section. Following that is what's called the thermic effect of food. This is the amount of energy that your body uses to burn the food that you've eaten. And the smallest section is your exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is the amount that you would burn doing an intentional workout. So if you are not exercising, this completely disappears from how much energy that you are giving out on a given day. So if you haven't been exercising, adding this activity in will help you burn more energy in a day. So that could contribute to minimal or moderate weight loss just by incorporating that. But if you're already exercising on a pretty regular basis, adding more activity isn't really going to increase how much you're burning comparatively to the other factors that I just mentioned. You can do other things to impact the other components of the total daily energy expenditure to burn more calories or burn more energy in a day. But that exercise one is the smallest one that contributes to that total overall energy expenditure. So you can see that expecting exercise to help you lose weight isn't going to be the answer. If you want to learn more about weight loss, then go ahead and check out my series on it. We're not going to talk too much about that today, but I want you to think instead of exercise as a weight loss method, I want you to think about some of these other benefits that exercise can bring to you. So you may be asking yourself, if exercise doesn't help you lose weight, then does that mean I don't have to do it? No, you still should do it, but here's why. Exercise makes you stronger. They have found that the stronger that you are, the more muscle quality and quantity that you have actually is a very big predictor on the health and longevity of your life. The phrase move it or lose it is a real thing. As a mom, we want to be able to keep up with the kids and keep up with our grandkids someday. And exercise can be a great way to build that strength, and it also helps us to improve our balance, flexibility, and mobility. We're able to do a lot more when we're exercising on a consistent basis. Exercise also plays a tremendous role in helping to reduce the risk of chronic diseases by helping to regulate your blood sugar and by helping to lower your blood pressure. Exercise also helps us to manage stress, as we learned last week. If you didn't watch that video, go ahead, check out my video on stress and how movement is a vital role in managing our stress. Exercising helps us to sleep better. It helps improve our mental health. We honestly just feel so much better when we are active on a regular basis. So specifically for you as a mom, here are a couple of ways that you can incorporate exercise and movement into your life that will be a game changer in how you feel. The first is a type of training that can be applied to lots of different kinds of exercise. It's called high intensity interval training, or HIIT for short. Essentially, the premise is that you do a higher intensity of exercise for a shorter amount of time with breaks in between. So the best way to implement this would be to incorporate HIIT 2 to 3 times a week. You can use any exercise that you want to do, and you can do it for 10 to 20 minutes. You'll start with doing one exercise for 1 minute, and then that'll be followed by a 1 minute rest. And during that 1 minute when you're doing your exercise, that could be some sort of weights, it could be running on a treadmill, it could be biking, it could be whatever. As you're going through that minute of activity, you want to increase the intensity. You want to make it hard. You want to make your body work. You should feel your heart pumping a little bit faster. You should be breathing a little bit heavier. You want it to be challenging for your body, but just for that minute, and then you stop. It can really be applied to any sort of exercise that you like to do, and so that can be a great way just to improve the quality of your exercising. And what they have found is that these high intensity interval training types of exercising can be hugely beneficial in gaining strength and also can contribute somewhat to weight loss. But more importantly, they found that when people will continue to do it on a regular basis, that they began to enjoy it a lot more. So that's like one of the things with exercise I think a lot of people don't realize is once you start getting into it, you actually end up enjoying it a lot more. You can also get strong relatively quickly from incorporating a HIIT style workout. It's just nice to know that you can do a minimal amount of time but still get a lot of value from it. So most of us have probably 10 to 20 minutes that we could squeeze in 2 to 3 times a week, and that will be a tremendous help in improving our fitness and helping us to have all of those benefits of exercise that we talked about. So another key component I want to mention with movement is that we need to focus on form as we go about our daily activities, because as a mom, you are picking up kids all the time. You are bending down, you are reaching up and grabbing things. And so we want to make sure that as we're doing that, our form is not suffering, because that can lead to injury. As you're picking a kid up out of the crib, instead of bending over and keeping your legs straight to grab the kid, that puts a lot of strain and stress on your back. Squat down a little bit to pick them up out of the crib. If you are bending down to grab anything instead of bending over, just squat down to pick it up. It will get easier. It's not intuitive, but it does get easier as you continue to practice it. Another thing is you're carrying kids, really try to tuck your hips underneath you and use your arm strength to hold the child, because a lot of times we will try to compensate with our center of gravity by kind of having our back go concave so the baby can fit inside of us. That's understandable. That's how our body compensates, but doing that repeatedly can be really hard on the body. So straightening our spine, tucking our pelvis underneath us, and then using our arms to hold the baby can be a great way to build muscle and also to protect our back. Another thing with form that I think is so important is back to that move it or lose it mantra. Sit on the floor and play with kids every single day. If you can get down on the floor and get back up again easily every single day, you will be able to do that for the rest of your life, pretty much. If you stop doing that, if you stop getting down on the ground, it's going to become harder and harder to do it. So it's a skill that you can practice. If you can't easily get on the ground and get back up again, then do it every day with whatever help or support you need, and it'll get easier. And that's a great way to improve your mobility and to protect your longevity. You don't want to be hurting your body as you're trying to care for your little ones, and so being able to maintain your form through that is essential. So obviously with kids running around, it can be hard to get in a quality workout, but I think a big part of it is embracing the chaos of it all, because as you are actively exercising, you're still getting a workout in, even if it's not perfectly executed. So, in my house, it looks like my child and dog climbing all over me and running around me the entire time. And that's just how it's going to be some days. And that's just fine. So embrace the chaos. It's not probably going to be a smooth, consistent workout, but any workout is better than none at all. Another thing I think can be super helpful for moms is to do whatever kind of workout with friends. Honestly, peer pressure, we all heard about it in school about peer pressure and drugs, but I'm going to pose another option. Peer pressure and all of the healthy things that you know you should be doing but maybe have a hard time doing by yourself. Peer pressure is an excellent way to make sure that you have that accountability to do the things that you know will actually help you to feel better. So having a gym buddy, having a walking partner, whatever it is, it can be a great way to make sure that you kill two birds with one stone, socializing and taking care of your health. Now, this is specifically for mamas who are in their childbearing years. Having babies is so hard on our bodies, especially our core. And so making sure that you take time after having babies, and it doesn't matter if you hadn't done this after having babies and you feel like your core or your pelvis is not where it used to be, then go ahead and start doing exercises and things to help with strengthening your core and your pelvic floor, really being able to heal that from everything that it's been through in childbearing. It is totally possible to do. If you are having a hard time with it, seeing a pelvic floor therapist can be an excellent way to make sure that you are getting specialized treatment for healing your core. The last thing I want to mention for moms is if you are sore or achy, your body is telling you to move. It is so important that after having babies that we don't stop moving. I mean, our kids keep us on our toes all day long, but are we doing the bare minimum, or are we actually trying to lean into the opportunities having children presents for us to move more? Honestly, I felt this so much after having a baby that I just felt sore and stiff, and the more I started moving and exercising on a regular basis, the easier I feel like it is for me to move. And there is a lot of scientific reasoning for that. And that's because our bodies were designed to move. We are very mechanical and functional creatures. And so moving really helps us to utilize the inherent physiological mechanisms in place to help us do that for longer. So what if you don't like exercising, or you feel like you really don't have time for it? I have a skill that can be a tremendous help in incorporating some kind of movement every day. We're actually going to be using a habit development tool that I think works wonders. It's called the 2-minute rule. Essentially, you choose what habit that you want to create, and you have to do it every day, but only for 2 minutes. You aren't allowed to do it for longer than 2 minutes. So let's say you're trying to go on a walk every day. You can get your shoes on, go outside, go for a walk, but you can only go for 2 minutes, and then you have to come back and do that every single day for a week or two. And what this does to our brains is it engages our brains enough to think this is easy enough for me to do, but at the same time, your brain realizes you can do more. So after you have set that base foundation of doing it for 2 minutes every day for a couple of weeks, then what happens is you can start to expand or build upon that because it's now a habit that you're doing on a consistent basis. So as you do your 2 minutes, you're ready to increase your time. You can increase your time to 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever, and just kind of keep building on that until it becomes a consistent and integral part of your life. But that 2-minute rule can be the best way to make it easy enough that you can't not do it. That's the trick of it. So you have to solidify the habit before you can improve it. Hopefully this was some good information for you as you go about moving more in motherhood, because it is such an important part of being healthy throughout the rest of our lives. And something I find is extremely important as you do this and as you exercise and make movement a part of your life, your kids absolutely pick up on this. They start to see, oh, mom's moving, I should be moving too. And obviously little kids tend to run around a lot, but we want that to continue to become a habit and a staple in their lives because that directly benefits their health as they grow up. So you are really setting the example, and you've been through a lot of physical things to create and provide for your family. So keeping your body at tip-top shape is a huge, huge part of being a healthy and happy mom. So give yourself the time that you need to take care of yourself in this way, because as much as mental health is important, we also need to take care of our physical health. And oftentimes we neglect that as we have so many other pressing demands, but you will find that you are much better prepared to handle all the other things in your life as you incorporate movement into your life every single day. I would love to hear which of these things you want to start incorporating in your life as you move more, or what works for you currently. I think that there is so much benefit that we have in sharing what works for us and being able to support each other along the way. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you found some of this helpful in learning a little bit more about how your body works, but also what you can do to take care of your body. Stay tuned for next week. We are going to be talking about sleep and how important sleep is and how we can improve it. So subscribe down below so you don't miss a video. See you all next week.